Imagine a franchise that doesn't wait for the market to move. It pushes the market. In Philadelphia, that has a method, a signature, and an address. Howie Roseman built his own reputation the way one stacks trophy. Quicker on the read, more aggressive in the offer, more stubborn in the execution. The city has learned to recognize the noise. When the calendar turns a crucial corner, the phone rings louder at the NovaCare complex. And almost always, something comes out of there that the rest of the league didn't have the nerve to try. This season, the choreography played the crowd's favorite tune again. Bold moves, trade after trade, and the defense gaining new layers. Jair Alexander became an instant headline, the kind of corner who forces an offensive coordinator to redraw the plan. Michael Carter II brought brains and flexibility inside, the sort of contribution that doesn't make the photo, but solves 3rd and 6. And for a brief moment, it felt like the edge had found a new motor. But the NFL isn't a predictable script. Jalen Phillips, newly acquired, unexpectedly announced his retirement. He isn't with the team at the moment, and the city holds its breath, hoping for a return. The short-term impact is clear. The plan needs adjusting, and the pass rush loses a pillar that looked ready to ignite. Behind the confirmed acquisition and that gut punch, a bigger idea kept humming. It ran through radio shows, filled paragraphs in national columns, and became a talking point among insiders. Alex Kay, at Bleacher Report, put into words what many were already whispering. If the Eagles stumble in January, why not revisit an investment that once seemed distant? Why not push the board one more time and nudge the NFC into a new arrangement? On the field, the need became sharper when the game tightened. Not a lack of talent. Philadelphia has plenty of that, but a lack of that presence that shortens the opponent's clock by decree. There are defenders who run, fight, show up. And there are those who dictate. When one of those is on the field, the pocket shrinks. The tackle opens his hips a split second early. A read drops out of the progression. The offensive coordinator calls, runs to survive. The quarterback leaves the platform, the internal clock starts screaming. The entire game seems to move at a faster tempo. With Phillips's departure, even if only temporary, that shortage hit the spotlight. The unit lacks the magnet that distorts protection on the edge and changes the physics of the snap. On the whiteboard, Roseman has always weighed opportunity cost against the competitive window, and this picture brings big math, first-round picks, in the plural, salary flexibility, and a string of tough conversations on the horizon with players you want to keep. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, the young secondary with Cooper DeJean, and Quinion Mitchell, plus Reed Blankenship's right instincts on the back end. It's a mosaic you can't assemble without losing pieces along the way. The question was never whether it hurts. Of course it hurts. It's whether the end result raises the franchise's ceiling, especially when a vacancy at edge opened right in the middle of the plan. While the city did that emotional math, the field supplied images that matter more than any spreadsheet. There was a night with 4 sacks, another with 5. A game where every third down felt like a sentence, and even so, the scoreboard told a different story. The bitter story of someone carrying a defense and watching the win slip away. The broadcast repeats the name. The replays open in slow motion. The blockers take deep breaths in the huddle. The opposing offense returns to the sideline with a smaller playbook, and fans, even from far away, feel that something rare is happening. The rumor didn't come out of nowhere. It came from a history. Howie doesn't avoid the dangerous curve when it leads to the top of the mountain. And it came from the realization, shared by analysts and league people, that late first-round picks rarely, even stacked together, equal the impact of a singular talent in his prime. The NFL celebrates general managers who mine gold on days 2 and 3. Champions, however, usually slam the gavel on 1 or 2 inevitable pieces. Visually, you can sketch what would change. Inside, Jalen Carter attacking the gap with malice and technique. Jordan Davis folding the pocket like slamming a heavy door. Outside, the void left by Phillips calls for a presence that drags protection and forces the quarterback to cut the field in half. In coverage, DeJean and Mitchell gain half a second of life on every snap. Michael Carter, the first second, occupies short windows in the slot, disguises pressure, and redirects the quarterback's eyes post-snap. It's a domino effect. The ball comes out earlier. The throw sails higher. The live ball becomes an opportunity. The entire stadium senses when the sledgehammer shows up. And today, without Phillips, the scheme is screaming for that sledgehammer. The bill, of course, exists. It comes with big numbers and critical dates. Extending the front while carrying a monster contract doesn't ask for courage. It asks for engineering, voids, escalators, bonuses, creativity, the very things Philadelphia has. Practiced with discipline since it chose to live at this limit. The risk is real and not small. But there's risk too when you keep the ammo dry, watch the window close, and live with the what if for years. This city knows the difference between excess and ambition. Excess is noise without consequence. Ambition here is a method. And when the conversation reaches the breaking, when the question shifts from can we compete to can we dictate the game, few names are heavy enough to silence the room. That name is Miles Garrett. Talking about him isn't just reciting numbers, even if they speak loudly. Seasons in a row with double-digit sack, a shelf full of Pro Bowl, a row of All-Pro, the stamp of Defensive Player of the Year in 2023. What matters is how those numbers are born. Attacking the outside hand with classroom precision, converting speed to power at the exact moment, reading the tackles set like a book with dog-eared pages. It's violent and rare technique. It's pocket collapse without relying on someone else's mistake. With Garrett, time becomes capital. The quarterback runs out of it, the secondary gains it, and January gets decided. In Philadelphia, the fit has two equally tempting paths. If Phillips eventually reverses course, you turn the edge of the pocket into an elite pincer. The arc threatens from both sides. Carter and Davis crush inside, and the secondary harvests the reward. If Phillips doesn't return, Garrett becomes the tone of the pass rush, and the rest of the roster orbits his gravity, with fresh rotation and pressure plan drawn around his presence. In both cases, the effect on DeJean, Mitchell, and Michael Carter is immediate. Smaller windows, better angles, and 50-50 plays that start tipping green. The objection is the same as always: picks and cap. The answer, in Philadelphia, is the same as always. Which piece changes February? Alex K stated that if the campaign slips in January, it's worth trying again. Not out of stubbornness, but out of coherence with what the team already is. The Eagles don't hide behind the fear of being wrong. They expand the margin of being right by building a roster where stars pull everyone else up. And with Garrett, you don't buy confidence, you buy time. Time that decides the red zone, third and long, the last possession. In the end, the whole conversation returns to the same place: purpose. The cap sheet will creak, extension talks will demand acrobatics, and some goodbyes will be inevitable. But there are seasons when a team needs a piece that imposes its will on the snaps that define reputation. When a season calls for that kind of answer, especially after Jalen Phillips' unexpected exit, Philadelphia has already shown what it chooses. Call it boldness, call it calculated madness, call it identity. Around here it has another name: coherence with ambition. And when the winter siren sounds, the city knows the tune.